And we are back. Welcome to my preview and predictions for the second part of Matchday 2 of the Club World Cup. Matchday 1 is now complete, and this is your opportunity to let me know down in the comment section what your thoughts are on this Club World Cup so far. Is it better than you expected, as bad as you expected, or is it even worse than you expected? Personally, I think it's gone a little bit better than most people expected. So I'm really pleased with what I've seen from this Club World Cup so far. And also, while we're celebrating, thank you so much for the next milestone on this YouTube channel, 11,000 subscribers. So thank you for all of you who have subscribed over the course of this Club World Cup so far. You have been the people that have got me over 11,000 over the last couple of days. So thank you very much for that. As I mentioned, this video is about tomorrow's matches on Matchday 2. If you want to see my predictions for today's matches on Matchday 2, you can check that out at the top of your screen right now. And as always, since I haven't mentioned it already, if you haven't done so already, please do consider dropping a like on this video. If you do enjoy all of my prediction series, share it with a friend to get them involved as well. If you haven't done so already, please do consider subscribing to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any of the predictions we've got coming up for you over the course of the next few weeks. And if you're really enjoying the content and you want to help me develop as a YouTuber, you can click the join button at the bottom of your screen right now to become a member of this channel. As for today though, these are the fixtures we're going to be talking about, and you can see at the top of your screen at the end of Matchday 1, we are on 10 out of 16 for Club World Cup results. I'll take that, not too bad. No correct scores yet so far though, which I'm a little bit gutted about. We've been very close on a fair few of them, but so far none actually spot on. But let's see if we can correct that today. And the opening match of today, or should I say of tomorrow, is Benfica taking on Auckland City. One of the two sides from the most intense game of Matchday 1, and probably the best game of Matchday 1 in my opinion, taking on an Auckland side who, bless them, they did ship 10 goals against Bayern Munich. They are an amateur team. Like, it should not be overlooked that they are literally all amateur footballers. They're not professional footballers. I think they've got a couple that have sort of professional contracts, but the vast majority are amateurs. They are Oceanic champions, but they are the weakest team in this competition, and to go up against a team like Bayern Munich and get hit for 10 is a real rough one. The one thing you would say for them is they did manage to get one shot off in reply. It didn't come to anything, but they got one shot off, so maybe they'll fare a little bit better against Benfica here. But to be honest, I don't really see that being the case. For Benfica, I think they played very well against Boca Juniors. Like I say, it was such an entertaining game, high octane. The amount of passion and aggression from both sides was unbelievable to watch. They went 2-0 down. They pulled it back to 2-2 with 10 men as well. And now against an Auckland City team where they'll be looking at them going, well, Bayern hit them for 10. We're going to hit them for a fair few as well. I think they're going to be pretty confident coming into this. In terms of the team news, they are going to be without Belotti because he was sent off in that Boca Juniors game in an incident which, unfortunately, you can tell it was an accident, but it is a red card. You can't act, even if it's accidental, you can't put your studs into the back of someone's head. So Belotti is going to be suspended. I do think they'll make a couple of other changes as well. I think they did leave Boca Juniors a little bit lightly. They didn't play the likes of Kochku, Aktakoglu. I really thought they would play those sort of players, but I imagine they'll be rotated in for this game against Auckland City. Ultimately, this is a game Benfica are going to win. No fresh injury concerns for Auckland coming into this, although their left-back, Lobo, will be feeling a little bit more relieved because his business exam has now been completed. So, good luck to him. He was doing a business exam the day after the Bayern Munich game, so God knows how he was feeling before that. But that's out of the way. I think for this game, Benfica take this easily. I'm going for 6-0 to Benfica. On to Group D now, and we start off with the two leaders of Group D, and I say two leaders because they're dead level. Both sides won 2-0 on the opening day. Chelsea winning 2-0 over LA, and Flamengo winning 2-0 over Esperance. And this is really a game built around former players. Of course, if you didn't know, Felipe Luis, the former Chelsea player, is now the manager of Flamengo, and another one of Chelsea's former players, Jorginho, lines up in midfield for them. He made his debut for them in the game against Esperance the other day and was one of the star players for them in that match, picking up an assist along the way. So the question is, what can Chelsea do against some of their former employers? Well, I think it's going to be an interesting one. I think it is worth noting that Flamengo conceded less chances against Esperance than Chelsea did against LAFC. Their defensive record is very, very good. For Chelsea, obviously we know the talent they've got, and I think it's expected that they will rotate some of their players. So it could make this a very interesting dynamic for them. I would expect the likes of Delap and Enzo Fernandez to come into the starting lineup, as both of them contributed off the bench the other day. And potentially a start for Andre Santos against a Brazilian side, because obviously he is Brazilian. For Flamengo, I'd be very surprised to see them make any changes. It's obviously a massive game for them. They are going to be targeting the LAFC game as obviously their opportunity to progress to the next round, but they're going to be fancying themselves against Chelsea. Let's not forget, at the entirety of Matchday 1, not a single South American side lost. Across all the Brazilian teams, across all the Argentinian teams, not a single one of them lost. And some of them were playing against tough European teams. And Flamengo are going to be looking at this going, well, we've got an outstanding record. We can definitely get a result against Chelsea here, and obviously player to watch for them based on the first game is certainly Araujo. So can Chelsea keep him quiet? I think it's going to be a really close one. Like I say, Flamengo's defensive record is outstanding. They've now not conceded in any of their last 4 games. But they've not played a side as good as Chelsea, who have talent to spare. So I'm going to go for a Chelsea win. I am not saying that with any confidence at all. I know the Brazilians in the comments that have been on a fair few of my videos are not going to be happy with me saying that. But I'm going to go for a Chelsea win. I'm going to go for 2-1. But it would not surprise me in the slightest to see Flamengo get at least a draw, potentially even a win. They are so good at the back. But I do just think with the amount of quality Chelsea have got in those attacking areas, they're going to have enough to see Flamengo off. But we'll see. 2-1 to Chelsea. Once that game is finished, the other game in the group will begin. And if you think that one was hard to call, this one is not much easier because these are the two sides that respectively lost 2-0 to the previous teams. But what you would say is that on paper, as I've just said, I just predicted Chelsea to beat Flamengo. On paper, Chelsea are a tougher side to play against than Flamengo are. And LAFC created a lot more against Chelsea than what Esperance did against Flamengo. Now, that's not me trying to take anything away from Flamengo's performance. They were outstanding. But to me, that gives a slight indicator earlier on that LAFC should be considered the favourites coming into this match. Also, I just think LAFC have a bit more quality in those attacking areas. Again, you think of the likes of Boanga, the likes of Giroud off the bench. I think they are going to have a little bit extra in those attacking areas. Esperance, as we spoke about on Matchday 1, struggled in their Champions League campaign this year to score goals. So I do fear that against a goalkeeper of the quality of Hugo Lloris, it's going to be a real difficulty for them there. Coming into this, I don't expect there to be too many changes from either side. Ordas did end up going off early for LA against Chelsea. It doesn't look like there's any fresh concerns for Esperance coming into this one. Normally, I would say that LAFC have the home field advantage since this tournament is being played in America. However, if you remember, LA are only in this competition because Leon were excluded due to dual ownership, and LA had to win a playoff to get into this competition. So it meant that the location of all of these matches had already been decided, and this group is playing in Tennessee. So even though LA are an American team, they've not been able to rework it so their matches are played in LA. So they've not exactly got home field advantage, but I think you would expect the American side to come out on top here. I think it'll be difficult, but I think they'll get the result in the end. I'm going for a 2-0 victory to LAFC. And then finally, probably the biggest game of the day in terms of profile of the clubs. We have Bayern Munich taking on Boca Juniors. And look, as we all know, Bayern won 10-0 against Auckland City. But again, we have to reiterate that was against an amateur football side. Boca Juniors are anything from amateur. They are a very good team. They've got a lot of quality in their side. And as we saw against Benfica, they've certainly got a hell of a lot of fight in their team. And unfortunately for them, it is that fight that is going to leave them 2 men short for this match because both Ander Herrera and Figal were both sent off against Benfica. Now, obviously, Ander Herrera picked up an injury and was sent off from the substitute bench, so he probably wouldn't have played in this one anyway. But Figal, their starting centre-back, he went in late and put in a really bad challenge, it has to be said. I can't remember on which Benfica player it was, but really bad challenge. Definitely a straight red card. He is going to be absent for them. For Bayern, I would expect to see a little bit of rotation, maybe like the likes of Goretzka coming in, of Meccano coming in, maybe Musiala getting a start after scoring a hat-trick off the bench for Thomas Muller at his age. Is he really going to play in these sort of conditions? that amount of game time every single match. I know these are his final games for Bayern and whatnot, but I think we'll see some rotation from Bayern. For Boca, obviously, they're forced into make the changes they need to make due to the suspensions. I think it's going to be an interesting game. Again, I think Boca have got a lot to play for, and again, I reiterate, at this point in time, no South American side has lost a match in this Club World Cup yet, but I think with the quality that Bayern have, with the amount of options they have in those attacking areas, I think ultimately it's going to be too much for Boca Juniors. This may be a very disrespectful thing to say, but I'm going for 4-1 to Bayern Munich. I think they are going to blow them away. It's worth noting that Boca Juniors actually haven't won a match in 90 minutes in any of their last 5 matches. So even though they played well against Benfica, it was just another draw in a long list of draws and defeats for Boca over the last few weeks. So I expect Bayern to take it. They've got so much quality. I'm going for it. Apologies to the Argentine fans in the comments that, again, like the Flamengo fans from Brazil, I'm sure are going to give me a lot of stick for predicting them to lose. But that's the way I see it going tomorrow. Don't forget to check out today's video, checking all the matches coming on this afternoon. As always, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing. 11,000 subscribers, absolutely unbelievable. Leave all your thoughts down in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching as always. I'll see you tomorrow.